Hey guys, Mrs. Malone here to bring you Vocab with Cats. Vocab with Cats. It's Vocab with Cats. Gotta love them cats. Bye, Sunny. All right. Today we are going over Unit 13. Man, we're already in Unit 13. That's crazy. We're going to go through Unit 13, words 5 through 8. Right? 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to go with 4 words a day. Our first word of the day, let me pull this up here, is foreboding. Dun, dun, dun. And don't forget, if you want to play along on Pear Deck and you want to answer these vocab questions along with me while we go through it, or if you just want to answer them on your own for practice, all you have to do is hit the link that is in the first slide. Okay, I've added it to the title slide. So you should be able just to click that link and it'll open it up for you and you'll be able to go through and answer the questions on your own. Okay? All right, foreboding. Oh, here I am again. Off in La La Land. Let's move me. Whoa! Move me up here. Hi. Okay. Let's take a look. So foreboding, it's a noun and an adjective. You don't get a lot of these. But it is, as a noun, it's a warning or a feeling that something bad will happen. So if you look at this word, boding here, okay, to bode means like if something bodes ill or bodes well, that means it is kind of something that gives you a sign that something's going to go good or bad. Okay, if something bodes ill, that means it's something that isn't going to turn out well for you. Okay. Fore just means beforehand, right? Forehead, forearm, foretell, right? We know that usually means before. So it's the idea that something bad is going to happen, or it's a warning or a feeling that something bad's going to happen. Okay? A sense of foreboding fell over the Apple board of directors after Steve Jobs left. They actually kicked him out. They're like, you know what? You're getting a little too bossy, a little too big for your britches, and we don't really like where you're trying to take this company. So, scram. And he did. He left. He was exiled from his own company, which I think is kind of crazy. And, that's a whole discussion for another time about how a board of directors can kind of make the company owner do whatever they want. But that's probably more of a social studies discussion, maybe even a math discussion. But something you might want to talk to them about. Anyway, foreboding is also an adjective. It just means marked by fear or ominous. Okay, and ominous is just kind of like saying the same thing. Like it's a feeling that something bad's going to happen. Okay, a foreboding feeling fell over the Apple board of directors after Steve Jobs left. So notice how we're using that word differently in those two contexts. Here, it's a sense of foreboding, right? It's this thing. Okay, it's a sense of this thing, this feeling. Right here, we're describing this feeling as foreboding. So we can tell that we're using it as an adjective instead. Okay. All right. So here we have this picture of familiar foreboding, right? This big shadow kind of overtaking this little person here. So that definitely is kind of that sense of darkness kind of coming over. Here we have an approaching storm, right? Big storm clouds and lightning. Doesn't look like it's going to turn out very well. Name 3 things that give you a sense of foreboding. Something that if you were to see it or experience it, you might sit there and say, I'm not sure about this. This doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel right. Things that do that. For me, it's always like in a book when I'm reading and I notice that like the sky's getting dark outside, it starts raining. That usually to me is a sense that something bad is about to happen. That's a sense of foreboding. Next word, forlorn. Oh, it's an adjective. It just means sad and lonely. Not a very nice word. While many entrepreneurs would feel forlorn if they were kicked out of their own company, Steve Jobs was strong and he went on to develop a hugely successful company like Pixar. Yes, you heard right, Pixar. So Finding Nemo, Monsters, Inc., Wall-E, all of those, Toy Story, all of those really fantastic movies. Steve Jobs had a hand in all of those because he's the guy who helped start Pixar. Isn't that crazy? Gets kicked out of his own company. He's like, hey, you know what? Heck with you, I'm going to go start this ridiculously successful animation company. Deuces. And he just pieces out and he just does his thing, right? That's why Steve Jobs was such a powerhouse, because he didn't let stuff like this make him feel forlorn and sad and lonely. He didn't waste time with that. He's like, ain't nobody got time for that. We're going to get up and we're going to go. Okay, we got to make this happen. So here's a couple people. A little girl. Oh, she looks so sad. I just want to give her a big hug. And then this lady's obviously having kind of a rough day. Okay, she looks very forlorn, got her head in her hands, kind of a, not having a great day kind of look there. Name 3 things that make you feel forlorn besides not coming to school. I know, I do miss you. I miss coming to school. It makes me forlorn that I don't get to come see you guys every day. This whole teaching from home business really sucks. So I'm glad it's going to be over, hopefully over here pretty soon. All right, next word, impediment. Say it with me, impediment. Good. It's a noun. Okay, it's a thing. It's a physical defect, a hindrance, or an obstacle. Okay, so we know obstacles are things that get in our way. Steve Jobs overcame many impediments to become the successful person that he was. And he did. He overcame lots of different problems and different obstacles in his way to get to be the person that he was. So here we have a road closed sign. You live in Ohio. You've probably all seen these at least once in your life. This here is something that's actually probably a little more common out in places like Colorado, places with lots of big mountains. But this is actually a giant boulder in the middle of the road. They had a rock slide. And this giant boulder is in the middle of the road, so you can't get through. I saw one of those when I was out in Colorado. It was pretty crazy. All right, so move my face here again. If you are playing along on Pear Deck, you can drag the shape of the picture, or drag the shape that's there. Should look like this. Oops. Oh, not like that. It should look like that little image right there. The yellow one with the little exclamation point. You're going to drag that to the picture that is the impediment. So which one of these would be the impediment? Which one is a hindrance, an obstacle, something blocking the way? What about this one? Which person, which image do you think is experiencing a hindrance of some kind? Try to move my face so I'm not in your way. And what about here? If you're playing along on Pear Deck, you may not see the images here moving. I don't think GIFs work on the Pear Deck on the Pear Deck application. Back. There we go. This one over here is a lady jumping over all of the hurdles. And this one over here is somebody who is continuously falling over all of the hurdles. So which one of those would be your impediment? The one on the left who's jumping over the hurdles, or the one on the right who's falling over them? All right, move my little noggin back up here. Imperative. This would be the last word for today. The word is imperative. Say it with me. Imperative. Beautiful. It's a noun and an adjective. Okay, it's another one of those weird combinations. It means, as an adjective, it means urgent. Like it's something that has to get done right now. Okay. It was imperative for Apple to ask Jobs to come back and lead. Okay. After a while, the board of directors was kind of like, we're not really doing a great job of taking care of all this and leading all of these people by ourselves. Maybe we should ask Steve Jobs to come back. And they didn't. It was really urgent that they did so because they were losing money like gangbusters. As a noun, an imperative, we've actually talked about imperatives in class a long time ago, way towards the beginning of the year. So you may not remember talking about imperatives, but it's a form of verb expressing a command. So if I say, sit down, run, drop it, right? Those are all imperative commands because they are expressing a command to you, not a suggestion like, oh, would you please put on your coat, right? That's not imperative. Imperative is put your coat on, right? It's a command, not a suggestion. Also means that is that which is necessary or required. Okay. So if something is an imperative for your project, that means it's something you have to have to finish the project. Otherwise, it's not going to get done. Okay. Mr. Jobs swiftly grabbed the imperative at Apple once they asked him to come back and lead. So once they asked him to come back, he moved right in and said, whoop, I got it. I'm going to hold on to this command that I have, and I'm never going to let it go. Okay. You're not going to push me out again. All right, so some examples. Here we have a lady who's obviously using a very imperative tone with her dog, or she's giving her dog an imperative. It's like, go to bed, go to your cage, seat, wherever you are. Okay. Here we have important notice, because a lot of times things that are imperative they're urgent. They're things that have to get done. So what would be imperative in these situations? Okay, what would be something that is important during a house fire? What would be important if you had a band or a choir concert that was scheduled for tomorrow? Tomorrow. What about losing a sock? What would be imperative? What thing would you do that is imperative in that situation? And that is it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in tomorrow. We'll go through the next 4 words, and we'll have fun while we're doing it. Okay? Bye, guys.